Hi, in this module, I'm going to show you how to enable e-commerce functionality for your WordPress website using WooCommerce. So we're in our dashboard right now. In order to enable the e-commerce functionality using WooCommerce, you need the WooCommerce plugin, which is free, and you also need a payment processor in order to collect payments. Usually that's like an add-on plugin for WooCommerce. You can choose PayPal, Stripe, Square, any of the popular ones will have their own plugin that you need to install in addition to WooCommerce in order to make and to collect payments. So I'll just show you what that looks like in I've already had them pre-installed to save a little bit of time. And also they were pre-installed by importing our theme as well, which required WooCommerce in order to sell our courses and stuff. So you'll see here that we have WooCommerce and we have WooCommerce Stripe Gateway. Those two are required and they're both free actually in order to make our e-commerce website work. One thing I want to mention is when you're using WooCommerce, even though it's free, you'll be automatically pushed to invest in paid tools in order to make it work a little bit better in terms of configuration and customization. It'll give you more options. And also anything you want to change really with the store itself, you're going to be somewhat restricted unless you're making all of the changes manually by yourself in the theme using code. So keep that in mind as you're working with WooCommerce. If you remember when we were installing our theme, the Astra theme, which is free, there was an option to upgrade to the Pro version that gives you more functionality for WooCommerce specifically. A lot of theme developers will do that. A lot of their free versions will kind of get you to a certain level, and then you'll need to upgrade in order to get some of the additional functionality. In this case, that functionality would be some of the add-ons that you need in order to configure WooCommerce with a little bit more ease. In our case, we're going to create some pretty basic pages and basic functionality in order to make this work. All this is available through WooCommerce, the free version. So I wanted to specifically make this course use free tools that you can learn with, and then you can always do your own research and figure out which themes and tools will be the best for you going forward as you learn more and you want to invest in your own tools in order to make this quicker and more efficient. In my case, we also use Elementor Pro, and one of the perks, one of the advantages of Elementor Pro is it allows you to customize the shop pages and some of the other pages and gives you more flexibility to design those using the Pro version that you don't have the ability to do using the free version of Elementor. So with that in mind, let's go through this. Again, this is a pretty big topic. I'm going to go through the basics. You can definitely learn more on your own, and I encourage you to. There's just a lot to cover in enabling the e-commerce functionality for your website. This will quite significantly increase the size and the complexity of your project if you are using e-commerce and adding WooCommerce to your website. So as soon as you install WooCommerce, the free version, you're going to get these additional 4 options on the left-hand side here. You're going to get the WooCommerce menu, products menu, analytics, and marketing. WooCommerce is going to have some of your dashboards and things like that, and more importantly, settings that you need to set up in order to make this site function. Products is where you manage products, where you add and manage them and change them. Nice thing about WooCommerce is it enables easy collaboration with clients as well. So you can, it automatically adds a new security role to your website called Store Manager, which you can assign to your user, for example, so that they don't get overwhelmed by some of the other options in WordPress. They can go in, but they can go in and create products and manage orders on their own. Another thing is analytics. This is where there's a lot of out-of-the-box powerful functionality in terms of analytics and reporting that you can check out. And then the last one is marketing, where you would set coupons, sales, and that kind of stuff. Another main component of this is the orders screen. The orders. So when somebody puts in an order for a product on your page, all of the orders will get logged here, and you can manage them, you can view them, you can cancel them, fulfill them, and whatever. I'm not going to go through that, but again, getting familiar with that workflow and testing that out would be key when learning WooCommerce on your own. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into the settings, and just to review some of the main settings here. In the general tab is where you set up your address and your location. You can also set up where you want to sell your products to, if you want to calculate taxes and so forth, and what currency you accept. You can also enable or disable coupons as well. In the product screen is where you would set your base shop page, where you would set some other settings like your default measurements. So for example, if you're in the US or whatever, you want to use pounds and inches, like you could change that here. You can also enable or disable product reviews and so forth. One of the things we're not going to do is set a default shop page because as soon as we do this, WooCommerce is going to overwrite the default styling of the shop page. We have some ability to modify some of the settings, but it's not very flexible. And I'm actually going to create my own shop page, and I'm not going to link it to this because, again, WooCommerce is going to overwrite my style settings for that particular page, and that's not what I want. You can change that in the theme itself using code again, but it's a little bit more challenging. It's a bit of more of an advanced topic that I'm not going to cover in this course. You can also purchase Elementor Pro, which will allow you the ability to use Elementor to change the shop page, the default WooCommerce or shop page. Again, this is a little bit more advanced, so I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to do it the easy way and show you how to get started, and then you can explore on your own, just like you do with some of the other topics in this course. You can also manage inventory here, or settings for inventory, whether or not and how you sell downloadable products like files or courses or whatever. You can set shipping options, if you want to sell physical products in certain locations, and add zones and different pricing for shipping depending on the user location. In the payments tab is where you set up your the payments that you want to collect for WooCommerce. So in our case, we're using Stripe. I installed that plugin, and all of a sudden, all of these options appeared for me to enable and manage. So I've just enabled Stripe. You can also enable PayPal. You can enable multiple payment options as well to make it easier on the clients. And but you need a payment processor in order to collect payments, or you could do cash, like for physical products if you have a physical store or whatever. But most cases, this is for e-commerce. So, you want to use like PayPal, Stripe, or Square, something common people are familiar with. Once you add that, you'll have an option to manage. I'll go through that in a second. I just want to go through some of these other options. Accounts and privacy is where you set whether or not users need to register in order to purchase products, what some of the retention policies are around data, privacy policies, and things like that. Again, a little bit more detailed. This is where you would manage that. Emails is where you manage all of the email communication that goes through the system. If somebody puts in a new order, sending them a receipt, sending you as an administrator a notification that there's a new order that comes in. All of that is managed here. You can't add new emails. You would need to customize the website in order to do that, but there's plenty of out-of-the-box email notifications that can be turned off and on and managed through the screen. You can also change the default color of the email template and stuff like that in here as well. I don't use the integration tab. I'm going to skip that for now, and I'm just going to go into advanced. And in advanced, there's some key features here as well. One is the setting your cart pages, checkout pages, my account pages, and terms and conditions. In order for WooCommerce to work, you need a shop page or a store. You need a cart, you need checkout, and my account is optional but highly recommended. A my account page will give you the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. The my account page, which I'll show you, gives you the ability to for users to log into the site if you enable that, and they can see their past orders, they can change their password, they can do stuff like that and change their personal info like their address and whatever for future purchases. So I'm just going to go into payments real quick just to show you. This is a little bit more technical. Typically, developers will set this up because you need a Stripe developer account in order to do this. So if you go manage, this is where you would manage your Stripe settings. For us, for right now, we're using test mode, so I'm not gonna hook up publishable keys and secret keys that actually are, live. But you need to go through these settings in order to enable Stripe payments. And again, I'm not gonna go through this in detail. You'll have to. They're pretty self-explanatory, but you do need a Stripe account. Usually, what I do for client websites is I get them to create a Stripe account, give me access. I go in, set up the API keys and everything like that. And then I go back in here and configure it before I hand it off to them. Once you configure it once, there's not a lot of issues where you need to redo this. Once in a while, something will go wrong and you have to change the settings, but for the most part, it just works pretty reliably. So that's it. Products is where you manage all of your products that you want to sell in your store. And you'll see we have this content marketing product right now that was created by and imported by the team. I'm just going to go into it quickly here to show you some of the main settings of the product. It looks very familiar to regular WordPress pages, with the exception of this product data settings tab here. So here's where you set, if you have a simple product or a grouped affiliate product or a variable product, and based on your selection, you might get additional options here. You could sell downloadable products as well. So if you want somebody to buy a file of PDF or a book or something like that, you can set it here, and then when they complete a purchase, it'll give them an option to download the file, or it'll send them an email with the download link that they can click on and open up the product. So this is all. I'm going to turn that off for now for this particular product. You can set a sale price here as well. You can manage inventory. You can link products like for cross sells as well, or upsells. You can set attributes. So for example, if you're selling t-shirts, you can set, attributes for size, like small, medium, large, or color, for example. You can also, in the advanced tab, you can enable or disable reviews, or you can, send a special purchase note for this particular product to the user or to the customer as well. You can also buy additional extensions. There's a lot of extensions to extend the functionality of WooCommerce on the on the WooCommerce website. So, such as one-page checkout functionality, which isn't included by default, or like name your price or whatever. Some of the other things you want to set, you obviously want to put in the description of the product and a short description of the product that shows up on the product page, kind of on the right-hand side. And also you want to set your product images. So, you have your main image and then any other images you want to show up in the gallery as well. So that's pretty much it for the products. Again, there's more to it than this. You can set up, categories, which I recommend, and attributes, tags, to categorize products in a certain way, which is really good. But, again, they're pretty self-explanatory, and you'll have to kind of play around with it yourself to find out a little bit more about it. So I'm going to go to the pages now. So as I mentioned, we need to set up a cart, checkout, a my account page, and a store page in order to make this work. I've created the store, my account, and the cart pages. I'm just going to review the cart page. I'm going to make a checkout page just to show you how this works. And again, I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to make this super easy because I've already created these. So you can see this, what my cart page looks like. I like the header and the general look and feel of this. So I'm going to replicate this one for my checkout page. So I'm going to go duplicate this. I have my draft page. I'm going to go edit. I'm going to go in and change the name. This is the page title, save draft. This is going to change my link right here. This is the checkout page. I'm going to edit it with Elementor because this is an Elementor page. So once that loads, I'm just going to change the title here, checkout, and I'm going to update this. Instead of having the cart info, I'm going to change it to checkout info. So you don't need to code here. There are some short codes that are available with WooCommerce. Short codes are basically like predefined functions that you can run in these square brackets. So WooCommerce underscore cart, WooCommerce underscore checkout, and WooCommerce underscore my underscore account is another one. Also products. There's a series of them. You can Google them. And basically they make it easy for you to insert that particular function on any page or section of your website. So here I want the checkout. So I'm going to say WooCommerce checkout. I'm going to publish this page. It doesn't show up in the preview maybe, but let's have a look. See what it looks like. Oh, it would help if I spelled it correctly. WooCommerce checkout update. And this is our checkout page using that short code. So remember, I enabled Stripe using test mode, so that shows up here too. I'll go through this in a little bit more detail, the workflow itself. So now we have, I'm just going to exit out of Elementor. I'm going to go back to my pages just to verify that I have all of the appropriate pages set up. Yeah, so I have cart, checkout, store, and my account. Let's just take a look at my store page. So this is my store page. So this looks good. It has the one product that I have, and I'm going to click on add to cart just to see if it takes me to the cart, and it does. And I'm going to go to proceed to checkout. Let's see what happens. It doesn't work, so it takes me to the home page. So this is why this happened. So I do have a checkout page, I have a cart page, I have my account page, and I have a store page. However, I didn't define my checkout page in my WooCommerce settings that are advanced. So this is a requirement. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to be automatically done for you if you're using a WooCommerce friendly theme. In our case, because we're using the free version of Astra, it doesn't come with some of that functionality, so we're gonna have to do this manually. We're not gonna have as many options to modify the look and feel of these, but either way, I'm gonna show you how to do this easily. So now we've defined our checkout page. So now if we go back to the store, let's try this again. Add to cart. I have 3 of these because I've been adding it, so I'll just change it to one product. I'll go proceed to checkout. And now I go get to the checkout page after I've defined the checkout page as this page. So that works. Here you can check. You can also add coupon codes. Here's what the user would see, for example, if they were to navigate here. So that's another thing. I'll go through these in a little bit more detail. So now we've defined all the pages here. And another key thing here you want to do is force secure checkout. So if you have HTTPS, so if you have SSL, which I recommend all websites have, on SiteGround you get that for free. All good hosts offer it for free. If you're getting charged for it, you're probably using GoDaddy or something. And so, always enable that. It gives people the peace of mind that, this is a secure page, and, especially if you're collecting payments. All right, so we've defined all of our pages. One other thing I wanted to do is I want to check my home page. Yeah, so I'm gonna add the products here as well. Just gonna go into Elementor. I'll show you another easy short code that you can use in order to add products to any section of your website. Once you have WooCommerce installed, of course, you have to have WooCommerce installed in order to do this. I'm just gonna go in here. And I'm gonna I'm going to add them right here, our most popular courses. Just going to pull in either the text editor or the code editor. There's already a section here, I think. Yeah, right here. Actually added an extra one. I'm going to go to the text editor. I'm going to type in products. This is going to show all of my products for this particular. Just verify that I have in my store. So yeah, you can see I only have one product. So here it is. This will go through the same workflow that I showed you earlier. So what we want to do next is we want to make this menu appear a little bit better. So we have the store, we have some other options as well. So let's add the cart and the checkout. We'll hide my account under the store as well. Actually make the user experience a little bit better. So I'm going to go to appearance menus. And I'm going to add, I already have store. I'm going to move my account underneath it. I'm going to add cart and checkout as well. Move the checkout right here. Cart, move the cart right here. Save the menu. Now I'm going to navigate to my home page. Search my cache. Yeah. So now you can see I have cart, checkout, and my account right here in the menu as well. So, you know, if I'm a user coming to this site, I can go directly to the store, you know, and shop. Or if I have something in my cart, I'll go in here and view my cart. Well, I didn't go through the checkout, so I didn't complete the checkout process. So that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I'm not going to complete this purchase now. There's nothing else that kind of happens here. A lot of this stuff is built out of the box. Like if I was to complete this purchase, I would get an email, for example, as the logged in user here to basically, download my course or whatever I'm selling, or to say, basically, you know, we've received your order and so forth. One of the kind of like a weird thing about WooCommerce that doesn't come out of the box is the little shopping basket icon. Again, some themes are going to include that. Out of the box, there's no shopping bag option in Astra or Elementor, the free version. So you can add it again using code as well in your theme, in your child theme. You can add an option for that, or you can purchase Elementor Pro or Astra Pro, which will include an option for setting up your little cart icon that people can click on and see what they have in the cart. Right now, you can see there's nothing showing up. We don't know how many items we have in the cart, for example. So it's not the best user experience, but it is what it is. So, you know, that's a quick and easy way to do it. So that's basically the workflow, out of the box workflow for WooCommerce and enabling e-commerce for your website. There's a lot more to it in WooCommerce. Again, your complexity of your website goes up significantly. And so if you are creating websites that have e-commerce capability, you know, spend a lot of time learning WooCommerce and how it works for setting it up, and also for managing the payments and the orders and those types of things to make it work. So let's just recap really quickly. Yeah, so topic 9, key takeaways are the WooCommerce enables e-commerce functionality out of the box. So again, it's a free plugin. Payment processors are free as well, but you know, if you want to customize or change anything, as you saw, you know, your hands will be tied, and you're going to have to use, you know, paid plugins, or you're going to have to use a premium theme usually in order to make that happen. This is part of the reason why we use OceanWP, for example. It's a really good e-commerce theme that is a premium theme and has a lot of the customizations and configurations that are available kind of from the front end. So you don't have to make a lot of code changes into the theme using the child theme in order to enable all the common e-commerce functionality. The other reason is it also works really well with Elementor as well. So that's another benefit. Next thing you want to do is, add a payment processor and products to start selling. So I showed you how to do the Stripe payment processor and how to configure it in order to collect payments. And again, obviously, you need products that you're going to sell in order to make the e-commerce functionality work. And the last thing that I'll mention is WooCommerce is going to really increase the performance load of your website. So it'll really, if you're not careful, it can slow down your website and it needs more processing power. If you're using WooCommerce, you are going to need a little bit more of a, serious hosting provider in order to make it fast and efficient. And also, the other thing you want to make sure is that you're using a WooCommerce friendly and efficient theme. So this is where, for WooCommerce especially, using an efficient and fast theme like Astra, like Hello Elementor, like OceanWP, like GeneratePress is really going to make or break your website and make the user experience that much better or worse. So those are the key takeaways, and we'll go to topic 10 next.